Today in the Hot Sauce, we're looking closer at an alarming case of bullying that has people asking a lot of questions, not at a school or on a playground, but in the NFL. Now, the Miami Dolphins will likely be missing two key players when they return to the field next Monday night. Richie Incognito has been suspended indefinitely in the wake of allegations that he bullied teammate Jonathan Martin in the locker room and left him offensive voicemail messages. Martin suddenly walked out of a team lunch last week and has not returned to the team or spoken publicly about these reports. But Incognito told reporters yesterday at his home in Florida that he's just trying to weather the storm. Now, we're joined now by our mental health counselor, Lynne, to kind of discuss this. Would you classify this as bullying, or is this a level higher?
It is clearly bullying, and it could, if I really looked at all of the things that he sent him, it could be a level higher. What they're trying to do is they're minimizing it in some places in terms of calling it just hazing and normal hazing. But when you do the racial slurs and you're attacking, and they were clearly bullying this person.
And in any other workplace, if someone was harassing or bullying, that could be cause for immediately, that could be a fireable offense, there could be criminal charges brought upon.
Sure.
Do you think the NFL is kind of getting a pass here, and what does that mean for the fans at home, maybe parents who are trying to explain their situation to the kids who are fans of this team or any other team?
Well, we don't know yet if it's going to be a pass, but I think that the football mentality, unfortunately, from little kids on, is to have a killer mentality, is go out there and get them, and they want the kids to win or the people to win. So they grow up with this mentality, and what happens is when you make it that far all the way to the NFL, you have this narcissistic kind of personality, or else you wouldn't make it so far. So what we're seeing is the two characteristics that are narcissistic is no empathy and a sense of entitlement. And that's clearly the case with this man, is he felt like he could and should, and the coaches told him to toughen this guy up. So he felt like he was doing what he should and could be doing.
And as someone that has worked with pro athletes off the field,
Yes.
is this something that comes up a lot in this line of work, or is it translatable to other types of professions too?
They certainly, I'm seeing it a lot in terms of picking up the bill, and that is something, part of the hazing, it absolutely happens across the board in these professional sports, and some of it can be pretty benign, but when they're asking him to pay for someone else's trip for $15,000 or doing different things, that's not okay. And yes, we see some of these characteristics with people that make it to the top in whatever profession, so whether it be the CEO of a certain business or the sports teams like we're saying, or surgeons sometimes, you're the top of your game, and it brings with you some narcissistic traits that help you to take advantage of people sometimes.
Is hazing or hazing activities ever, is it ever good? Are there ever any benefits, team bonding, male bonding, things like that, or is it really a red flag?
Well, we look at fraternities, right, and sororities, and there's been a lot of talk about taking away hazing. If it's part of a camaraderie and connectedness, I mean, I personally think it's awful each time, but they're still going to do it, and they still are doing it. And if they do it in a way that's more playful and fun, and everyone's treated the same in that lower level, okay. But when one person is singled out, it's no longer just hazing, it's bullying.
And what do you think someone should do if they feel like they're being bullied at their job?
You know, it's a really tough call, because I certainly want to say you want to report it, because you do. Some people's mentality is they don't like the snitchers, and they're having more focus on them for snitching. I think that if it becomes bullying and harassing, I think you do need to take it further, and you take it to your employer, you take it to human resources, and you need to tell somebody. Initially, just walking away is the way, just shutting it down and do not contribute to the conversation.
And if anything could come of a story like this, it's maybe someone taking a look back and saying, someone's not treating me right at work too, right? So sometimes, even though these stories are shocking and upsetting and confusing to think about 300-pound offensive linemen being bullied and bullying each other, it can make you think about your own situation and maybe talk to a counselor or someone.
That's exactly right. They need to be able to, and you know, with this person in particular, it's not just about him. It's going on across the board. So we do need to look at, from coaches looking at their teams when a child is 8 years old, for instance, all the way through, to stop tolerating what they tolerate in the locker rooms.
All right, it should be something interesting to watch as the investigation from the NFL moves forward. Thanks for coming in today, Lynne.
Thank you.
Always nice to have you here.
Thank you.
It's always